Even the college students are already making the point. Modern romance is dead and Tinder killed it. That's the latest point here. And by the way, same thing goes for Bumble, Tinder, Bumble and Hinge as well, and how they're destroying America. Just to make the point. So Tate Moyer, who writes for the Michigan Daily, that's the Michigan Wolverines, writes this story and starts off with saying that our ability to communicate with anyone at the click of a button, we now have more opportunities to connect with than ever before. Why do so many Americans feel more lonely now than ever? Now, he refers to a study conducted by the University of California, Berkeley. The number of Americans who do not have a steady romantic partner has increased by 50% since 1986. We all know it's the modern women kind of feel to it, and also the fact that men are giving up. Many experts are attributing the statistic to the rise of social media and casual dating apps. Nearly half of young adults have reported having used an online dating platform. So despite the high, this is the biggest thing right here. The biggest scam in America is online dating. Let's just be honest here. No, except for the ones I've told you about. I'm telling you, sugar daddy sites give you better chances to meet people. But these other sites, Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid, anything else in that mainstream platform, this is big. They're saying that in 2022, about 53 million people. You understand that's a seventh of the population of America, right? I mean, wow. 12% of those individuals reported eventually forming a committed relationship. Hookups we're not counting, right? We're not counting, one night stands, right? But the purpose of actually finding a committed relationship, 12%. And I'm trying to figure out what is that number compared to everything else? Is pathetic. And people don't realize that when we have this here and you see this, and I'm like, damn, dude, this is not great. So it's 6 million of those people total find relationships? Do we want to make a point where it's because of the fact that, who it is that's on these sites? Sure, we can talk about everybody being damaged. Sure, we can do that. It's still much better to do it in person. But even then, there was a point where it was an option to go online. But see, now there's the option that only dating can be done online. That you can't really even start anything now in public. And that is because of what's honestly, this whole thought process of really just kind of sanitizing and sanctifying everything. Okay? So there's a book I've been reading now, or it's called Beauty Sick. And I'm read there with chapter 4, talking about objectification, right? So the author really is pointing out the fact of how objectification goes both ways. If you want to feel like a sex object, if you want to feel admired and appreciated for your looks, then that's one thing where you appreciate that. But when you're not in the mood for that, then there's the part where women feel like that's an attack. That's a street harassment. That's the term. And I understand where someone will feel that part, but for whatever reason, if it's modern feminism, I don't know. But what needs to be realized is that women that have beauty, plenty do. Plenty of women have youth and beauty. Young, beautiful girls, they are the apple of the eye of many guys, all ages. We all know that. You're under 30, 18 to 30 years old, you're desirable. At your most desirable, as a matter of fact. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, most desirable. We know that. And with that said, what needs to be understood for young women is that you need to empower the fact that your beauty is something. And the truth is, it doesn't mean that you need to be succumbed into every, cat call or any kind of guy reaching out to you. You know your worth. That your beauty is intrinsically valued into your worth. It should be something that you value and say, okay, that's something that makes you, ire. You're the ire of somebody. There are people that want to be around you. Friends, guys, whatever. Guys and girls, right? You have all this where there's a lot of people that have your attention because you're beautiful. And when you have that, the whole idea of thinking that there's something wrong with it or you want to just do something about it and just destroy it, I mean, it's part of that thing where, number one, the beauty standards that are out there are ridiculous. I would love more women to feel natural in their skin. Feel like they don't have to worry about throwing a lot of makeup on, doing a lot to their hair. Just wake up out of bed, take care of your skin, and just feel beautiful. And just look beautiful, because it doesn't take much for a man to be attracted to you. Not the clothes, not the makeup, not the jewelry, not anything else. No enhancements. Enhancement free. Natural. Everyday look. That's what's attractive. And then the other part is, you can't help yourself but realize that if you're going to get that kind of attention, it's becoming to you. It's because you need to know how to use it. You need to know which attention you absolutely ignore, or you brush off, or you do whatever you want to do. But you want to keep your head on a swivel and realize there are some people that will catch your attention that you will benefit from, because your youth and beauty naturally, biologically, gives you wisdom. You learn. You shouldn't feel anything where, if you feel like your beauty is the reason you got a job or the reason that you're moving ahead or being favored when it comes to college classes or whatever it might be, take it. The thing is, it's not upon you to feel like you need to feel guilty about it. Accept it, because that's the value that everybody else puts on you. And the only thing is that there are plenty of guys that don't know what they're doing and they're stupid. Remember, you're actually doing the world a favor, right? By rejecting all these men that come on to you and they try to approach, one thing is reject. No interest, reject. The men need that. Men need to be humbled, especially at a young age. Men need to be recognizing they need to do better. They just can't come up to you and just throw a line. They can't do it. You have to see your value as much more than that. So you push back. And you don't need to worry about what other girls will tell you, because they might try to persuade you to do something else about yourself. You might not feel so good about yourself. Trust your judgment. Trust your real feeling. That's what it comes down to. And online dating, it gives you the chance to go ahead and have that safety gap right there. So you're not dealing with street harassment as much. And you have plenty of guys that are coming to you. If they want to go take you out, you could probably let them do that. But that's all part of it, right? So online dating is a multi-billion-dollar industry, we know. Profiting off user addiction, keeping users single, and it's relying on the qualities of gamification and the paradox of choice. Now, this is the online dating thought, and it goes with online shopping. Studies show that shoppers are exposed to more options for potential purchases, paradoxically less likely to be satisfied with their ultimate decision. And the brain will continue to be inundated with a variety of choices. We experience choice paralysis, preventing us to make a resounding decision. We have serial swipers on Tinder, and that the paradox of the realm of relationships is especially dangerous. Online dating has become a breeding ground for objectification, sexual harassment, and insecurity. If you're going to have that objectification in public, everybody around, and people around you too, part of that needs to be where you have that. But there has to be something where you realize that value, and that once you have your value in set, and you take advantage of it. Look, okay, you got a guy that wants to be, friends with you, or there's somebody else that wants to be close to you, and they want to kind of hang on. They want to be close to you. They want to be friends with you. They want to be with you. There is a sense of security by having those people around. There's a sense of, resources or support as needed. I mean, if you're a beautiful woman, you don't want to be left alone. You want to be out there where you have plenty of people that are around as your support system, that want to be around you, that love you, or they want to be in love with you. Take advantage of them. I wouldn't necessarily do a friend zone thing either. You want to make sure there's a platonic sense into all these different relationships that you have, unless you have the one that you're absolutely in love with, and then you pursue that person. Just saying. the ethical ramifications of introducing the idea that people are addicted, right? The ability to necessarily scroll, endlessly swipe through apps. The reward they're seeking is not simply monetary. It's a real person with a real life they're interacting with. And everybody wants to have that feeling. If you're a beautiful woman, this is easy for you. But most importantly, don't let anybody linger on and give them false hope. Shut them down. And don't be afraid to shut them down. The empowerment is your beauty. It's not a hindrance. It's not what's holding you back. It's a power. Now, you can also objectify and, show more skin or do other things to entice or tease or whatever you want. Many women do that, but many women don't find that they don't find that as something they would do anyway. That feels degrading, feels humiliating, feels, beneath them. That's fine too. But there's enough out there with women, with what they want to do and how they can look to entice the appeal of many men or many women in that matter. Your value at the time might be your beauty, but you know what? It's not going to be always that. But it is one of those things that biologically, that was what you were blessed with. You're blessed with youth and beauty. Use it to your advantage. Don't even worry about the part about, using online dating apps. It doesn't matter. The other thing they talk about in this story from Michigan Daily is the dating apocalypse. Is it upon us? As it actually hold validity? Answer is complicated with the rise of social media and social online dating apps. They're perpetuating a strong culture. And mounting pressure of sexual harassment, lack of corporate oversight, spreading awareness about the issue, and further research needs to be done on how to correct the faulty nature of these apps. Well, you can't. The new thing is customizing. We're going to just have a VIP experience to help select the right person for you based on your wants and needs. That's not going to work either. Let's just make that point as well. But they're going to try anyway. It's not a good idea. So keep trying if you want. When it comes to dating is infla-dating. That's a new phrase that's come out now that finding love and staying afloat fiscally, right? So infla-dating, inflation period, and you're trying to date because you're looking for somebody for money, right? So here's what we got. Resident dating expert in Plenty of Fish, Shannon Smith, says that singles who want or need to infla-date, they need to know they're not alone. They should abandon the assumption that this trend needs to be negative and view it as a great opportunity to change up your typical dating routine. The definition is opting for less expensive outings with a romantic partner during these uncertain economic times. Plenty of Fish says right now their research, 48% of millennials and Gen Z singles are embracing the trend. So dating on the cheap. Interesting. And while operating on a budget isn't always ideal, we're all in this together. Not only are you saving money, you're partaking in a cost-effective shared experience, letting your date know you know more about who you are and what matters to you. Infla-dating. That's a new thing now. They talk about infla-dating ideas. So cook a simple but delicious dinner for your date at home. Watch an episode of TV both you like. Oh, Netflix and chill? Really? That work? That's what we're going to recommend? Volunteer together, have a game night. Or, take a look at one of your favorite outdoor date ideas. I'm sorry. You have to ask yourself, who are the people that are infla-dating anyway? I think for some of the guys and gals, if it's somebody they're with that's infla-dating, they're probably not even anybody that they're interested in or really looking for. Just saying. But hey, give it a shot. If that's something you feel like is good for you, sounds stupid to me. Infla-dating. Online dating, dead. Dating apocalypse. This is all real things. It's time for us to get back to being out in person. And it's also time for, hopefully, women to realize that some of the advice has been given when it comes to beauty standards, when it comes to street harassment, when it comes to objectification. There's definitely some validity into all that, but it's not the only thing. And it's not the most important, it's not the biggest thing. It's not what it is. You have to realize there are plenty of men that are going to be in the right place right mindset that would be interested in you, but you're not going to be interested in them. And that's okay. Use your power. Reject. Give these men the reason to say, hey, this beautiful girl rejected me. I got to do better. I got to step up. Because it's always younger guys trying to go for it. So let it be done. Unless she gets picked up by a sugar daddy. And then she might go on and be a little depraved and debaucherous.